Dust off your sewing machine, put your superhero cape on, and let's start making dresses for Project Dress a Girl. Hi, my name is Agata. Welcome in Agata's Cottage. It's time for making dresses for Project Dress a Girl. If you watch me for any length of time, you know this is my favorite challenge of the year. I sew dresses for the Project Dress a Girl all year long. I might not sew every month, but I do try to have few of them ready ahead of September. And this year is not different whatsoever. I do have few dresses waiting in the box there in a smaller sizes, but I decided to challenge myself this year as the mom of teenager, freshly teenager, to make dresses for a teenage girls. So Alice and I went through my pattern stash, my fabric stash, and we picked three patterns, one indie, two big four, and three fabrics to transform them in fabulous outfits for teenage girls. I won't be going into details about this challenge because Mari did amazing kickoff video with all the information that you might need. So I will leave it linked down in the description box, and I do hope you will check her out, you will join us and start sewing dresses. I will start with our favorite. It's a tempo dress by Love Notions. I used this pattern this summer to make Alice's birthday dress, and she absolutely loves it. I loved making this dress. I did make few little changes to the pattern, but they were just minor changes. I added elastic inside of the straps just to provide more variety. Basically, if the straps are too loose, that would be problem with the fit, but elastic does provide this extra support. The other thing I did, instead of ruffle at the end, I did a border because I despise gathering. But overall, that's the tempo dress by Love Notions. It has inseam pockets and it has elasticated back. I did elastic channels. You can do shearing. The pattern allows for both. This is size 14 and Alice wears it comfortably. She is 13 and she is relatively slim for her age, so it's a good fit. It's not too fitted, but she absolutely loves it. So she tried on all three dresses that I'm going to show you today, and she rated them in scale 1 to 3, which one is her favorite. And the tempo dress won without a doubt. It is the most complicated pattern out of all three that I'm going to review today. However, the tempo dress comes with amazing Love Notions, and they're holding you by hand step by step. So it's not a difficult make, it's just the most time consuming. Oh, I forgot to mention the fabric. So the fabric is cotton satin from K Facet, and I got it on a sale last year from Rainbow Fabrics, and it's very cute and very soft. Our number 2 or a silver medalist is Simplicity 2241. I did the view B here, and here is the dress. I made it in cotton poplin from Ecobee I got a few months ago, and I absolutely loved making this dress. It was the easiest out of all three to make. I did make some changes. So the pattern is easy to sew pattern. They do teach you proper way of doing certain things. However, they don't teach you alternative ways of doing things. So the my alternative way, I did differently armholes and the side seams. So the pattern calls for you to do the shoulder seam and then do the side seam. What I did the shoulder seam, I applied bias tape, and then I did the side seam. It was just easier to apply bias tape um, on the flat armhole versus the rounded one. And for me, it was important for my space of mind when I was doing it that it will be as easy as it gets. I do like little tiny bit of gathering, and I didn't mind doing gathering on a tiny bit. It adds a little bit more volume. It's a little bit shapeless dress. However, Ali said it's very comfortable, almost as comfortable as a nightgown, and she absolutely loved trying it on. Um, we did little rig rag on the pocket. There is also yoke with a little bit of gathering at the back, and in general, it's very cute A-line dress. I also finish it with the bias tape on the hem just to add a little bit more length, make sure that the girl gets covered as much as possible. And I don't know what the height of the girls that will be getting those dresses, so few extra centimeters saved up on the hem goes may go a long way. The third dress that I made is New Look 6444, and I did view C, so the long dress. Um, Alice tried it on. She said it's okay, but it's not her favorite. And I agree with her. It's not my favorite either, mainly because I had some troubles with the applying bias tape. But I will get to that in a second. So it's a long dress, very long dress. I did deep hem as suggested on the pattern, finish armholes with the Specky Seamstress bias tape, and because pattern doesn't call for the pockets, I did two-part pockets just to provide pockets. So the pattern doesn't have too many pattern pieces and it seems relatively straightforward. However, the instructions for applying the bias tape on the inside to create the casing are a tad bit confusing, and in few places they are asking you to do steps that I personally think are not mandatory if you are a seasoned sewist. For someone who is brand new, yes, that would be mandatory, but for someone who is sewing for a bit, it's just unnecessary steps. In general, I do like how this dress turned out. We had to change the length of the elastic. So elastic for the neckband and for the waistband are a little bit too long. So the waistband elastic is 70 centimeters, which is way too long for a girl age 14. So we remove 1 inch, and then of course then I zigzagged it and I tried it on, and it was still just so loose. It was just ridiculous. There wasn't much gathering on the waistband, so I removed 1 more inch. So basically I shortened the elastic to 65 centimeters. For the neckline elastic, I did something a little bit different than the pattern was asking for. So the pattern tells you to just overlap the and connect both the bias tape ends. However, I left little opening and I left the elastic here so can be easily adjusted, because I do not know the size of the girl that will be wearing those dresses, and because of the elastic they are easily um, adjustable. I decided to leave elastic as it is with option to make it a little bit more narrower, like tighter, or extended by another like an inch, just to provide a little bit more looseness if it's needed. But in general, I do like how it turned out. The fabric I use is cotton satin I got from Rainbow Fabrics last year, and it's one of K Facet prints. It was white back, and I absolutely love this print. I think it feels a little bit more modern and more teenage girl than any of the other prints that I use. These are my 3 dresses for teenage girls for Project Dress a Girl. Are you planning to sew any dresses for Project Dress a Girl? Which of the dresses was your favorite? Do you agree with Alice that tempo dress is hands-on the best? Don't forget to go check Mari's kickoff video for all the details about the challenge. Thank you for watching, and don't forget, clean your sewing machine and change your needle. Happy sewing! Bye!